It's Bud and Broadway, and look who we have. Morgan Wallen is in the house, and good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you. How's it going?
Good. How was your Thanksgiving?
Man, it was good. I didn't do a whole lot. I went fishing a couple times, and other than that, just ate a lot with my family. So it was good. Yes, it was.
It's a win.
Yes, sir.
I hear you were heading out on the road coming up real soon. You're heading out with Aldine, right?
Yeah, I sure am. And starting in February, I think, is when the first date is.
I thought you were doing some stuff. We were talking with that last time we were talking with Aldine. He was talking about his nutritionist and all. So just be careful. You'll wind up eating, stuff you shouldn't eat.
Kale, stuff like that?
That stuff.
Man,
I don't know about that.
Don't tell me Jason Aldean eats kale. That hurts my heart.
He might, dude. He's been losing some weight. I didn't know. Last time I saw him, I was like, dang, dude, you look pretty good. So I guess if that's what it takes, man, I ain't judging him.
Well, and you spent the year.
Please not till you get your end of tour gift. Right. And then I'll let him have it.
And then I'll talk all the trash I want.
Well, I know you spent the year out with the Florida-Georgia line. In fact, I saw you here in St. Louis, and then you're also going to be doing your own tour at the beginning of the year next year. So, I mean, how do you take what you're learning on all these huge tours and sort of focus it into your own tour?
Yeah, well, I think I've always just tried to not worry too much about what everybody else is doing. I just try to be myself, and hopefully that's what makes people like me. For me, I do obviously I appreciate how FGO, how their set goes. They keep a lot of energy and things like that. But I also think I have a lot of different music than the kind of music they have too. So I try to just be myself, and so far it's been working out pretty good.
Well, I do want to ask you, how many times do you get the request to touch your mullet?
It happens quite a bit.
I see those signs in the crowd all the time. You let somebody here in St. Louis touch it.
Yeah, I don't mind. As long as I get a couple drinks in me, I'll let anybody touch my mullet.
As you were saying, Becca.
Well, also, I wanted to ask you, you had some really cool songs that you put out this year, including Heartless with Diplo, and then you did that cover of Jason Isbell's song. So, I mean, is that an indication of what's working up in your new album, or how is that coming along? Has it had an influence?
No, I don't think so. Not a whole lot. I think, I'm going to stick to my country roots as far as my albums go. I'm probably going to be that way, but I do like, venturing out and doing some things that maybe I'm not used to or maybe I'm not even comfortable with. I like to push my boundaries as an artist, and obviously as country music too. It's just it's fun for me to get to do that. I mean, I didn't really know who Diplo was before we started doing this
and
song.
He's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, he's a very interesting guy.
It's okay to sing with him. Just don't get in a photo with him, bro. Yeah. Just be careful,
well,
man.
He's actually a really, really cool guy. He's originally from Mississippi, so we're both kind of just Southern boys, and he's actually became my friend, man. And we're working on a little remix of that song right now. So we'll. I don't know when that's going to come out, but
that song is tight. And what was fun about when Broadway and I first heard that, we were talking about how you could take the song, the part that you're singing, with a little rearrangement. You got a great country song, but then when you throw all the rest of it in, you're like, wait, this just got super fat.
Yeah, it's I was a little bit concerned because I've kind of built this redneck mullet wearing crowd right. As far as my fan base goes, sure. And I knew that song was definitely not down that lane.
Right, you weren't down the middle of that.
No, and so I was a little bit nervous as far as putting it out, but I love the song. I love to sing the song. I really liked how it sounded, and I never it wasn't a song that I was like, I'm going to go to country radio and get this played on country radio. That's not what I expected.
Well, it's phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm proud of it, and I think if it can stay over there in that lane, and I get to stay doing my mullet thing in the country, then we're good.
I think it turns out that the camo mullet crowd kind of digs that song.
They do, man, and
it's great.
It's cool to see that they do, man. It's the song's been growing even just week by week. I've been starting to play it out there on the Luke Combs tour, and I've noticed just literally every week that more people know the song, and it's cool to see the growth of that real time. It's probably the first time I've really got to see something grow that fast.
Hanging out there with Luke and watching how he does, because he's one of those guys that will just sit down with his guitar and throw something on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and be like, here's something new. And you're writing so much, he's writing so much. Do you ever just want to pop down in front of it, throw on the video, and throw me out something new? You got to kind of resist that, don't you? Otherwise, you're going to lose money.
That. Yes, yeah. I do resist that. I'm always like when I'm driving, I've got demos playing. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put on my next album. I just kind of want to give a sneak peek of a song and ask people what they think, But then if I end up choosing it, it kind of loses its fresh value to me anyway. I like to have something come out that no one's ever heard. So, but if it was up to me, I'd probably do that a little bit more.
I'd be scared of that. I'd be afraid that everything I'd be like, oh, let me put this out. Because you get used to the feedback. I mean, it would be like a drug almost.
It kind of is, yeah. I do like to hear what people think, beforehand. But I don't know. I have such a great team around me, and we all kind of go through. Even when I'm making an album, we'll kind of start with a whiteboard, and we'll put all the songs on there, and we'll kind of go through, and we'll say, we actually use a grading scale. We all do it together, and we'll say like 1, nope, 2, maybe 3 is like an album cut, 4 is a single, 5 is like what we think is a song of the year type song or something like that. So we go through and we try to make sure that we get rid of all the songs that nobody likes or the majority don't like, and usually we all have, I guess we have a similar taste in music and a feel for what I'm going for too, and that really helps me a lot to have those kind of people that really care about what I'm doing.
Has there ever been a song though that like all the people that are helping do the grading system were like, yeah, that's a dog, but you were like, no, that's a hit, right?
Yeah.
Do you have the override veto?
Yeah, I do.
On that?
Okay.
Okay.
I do, and it's nice. And most of the time we agree, and there's been a couple songs that are actually going to be on my next album that at first they were like, man, I don't really see what you're seeing in this song, and I'm like, well, I don't really care. I love the song, and after like a month or so of them being like, are you sure? Like, yes, dude, we're cutting it, and then they usually come around. They're like, yeah, you were right, and I know I was right, and it's like, but we don't have too many of those though.
Well,
it's always fun when you can tell people, I don't pay you to think.
Wow.
Well, I do. Just not always.
Right.
I know people are so eager to get new music from you because, your first album was fantastic. One of my favorite albums. I still listen to it all the time. So can you even give us a general timeline, like spring, summer? When are we going to get new music?
I would say I'm going to let Chasing You, my single now, do its thing on radio. I think we're like in the 30s right now. So I don't know how long that'll take. But as soon as that's over, I'm ready. I'm about to go into I've already cut like 7 songs, and I'm cutting more throughout the whole rest of the year, and then throughout next year. I guess this year's almost over, but it'll be, I would say, soon after Chasing You. I would say something mid to late summer, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Chasing You makes me happy because you're working it vocally. That's one of those, and that's a lot
that's
more
true.
than, up, down's one thing. Working this song, you're going to sing this one, and you proved you could do it, and not everybody can do that.
Yeah, man, thank you. It's that's one of the main reasons that we picked that song to be the next single. For me, it's a song that means a lot to me because I wrote it. It was one of the first songs I wrote when I moved to Nashville. Cool. Just about something I was going through, so it's cool to get to hear a real story, getting to be played on the radio. And then also, like you said, it's a much different side of me vocally and just musically. Everything about it is different than what my singles have been before. So I wanted to show a little softer side.
What was the biggest fish you caught while you're fishing Thanksgiving?
Not nothing huge. Probably like 4.5 pounds. 4.5 pound bass.
Nice.
It wasn't bad.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught? None of us know. You can lie if you want.
Yeah, man. We expect you to lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't measure. I didn't weigh it, but I'd say it's probably about 7.5, 8 pounds.
Nice.
Largemouth. Yeah,
that works.
But we still got some work to do. What about you? You like to fish too?
I do love to fish.
You do?
The biggest fish I ever caught was a redfish in Mobile Bay. Weighed 22 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
jerked my arms off.
I caught like an amberjack one time out on the. I wasn't talking about the saltwater though. So
I love to fish in the freshwater too. I just ain't very good at it.
Well, it's a lot, man. But luckily my cousin he's on the fishing team in his college, and he's wanting to go pros fishing. So
nice.
I kind of get a little, he kind of helps me out a little bit.
How you train for that?
For him, yeah, you just keep. Well, it's. I think, you got to have that part down for sure.
Pull myself out.
But there's just so many different things you can use. I think that's why I like it. It's kind of scientific, actually. The more I learn,
there's
the
a
more I
lot
see.
to it.
Yeah, it is.
There's an awful lot. It's way more than just putting a hook in the water and waiting.
Yeah, it is.
It's gotten real complicated.
That's what I thought it used to be when I didn't catch anything.
The original Bud Ford once said to me, and I think it's very important because I talked to him about that, and I talked to him about fish because fishing was his game. And he said to me, you know what I found out about fish? And I said, what? He said, when they're hungry, they'll eat.
That's groundbreaking stuff right there.
Seems to work.
Words to live by. You need that on a plaque somewhere.
I'm gonna get that tattooed, I think.
I
don't have tattoos.
I heard a comedian the other day talking about fishing, and he was like, I don't like to fish. People call fishing a sport, but how can it be a sport when you can actually gain weight while doing it?
Well, that just depends on what you're drinking while you're doing it.
Hey, Morgan Wallen's going to be a part of 2019 Jinglefest, and you know what that means? That means next year Morgan Wallen becomes a superstar. That's exactly how it always
Even
goes
bigger.
down. And we knew it from the time we met him all bloodied up down at Busch Stadium after the wreck on the skateboard that Florida Georgia Line gave him. Did you ever learn how to ride that thing?
No, I gave it up.
I don't blame you. It looked like you lost that fight.
I lost a lot of dignity. I ruined my shoes I just got.
It was kicking your ass.
Yeah, it was bad.
They're hard enough to ride without a motor on them, you know what I'm saying?
That night at Busch Stadium, the chorus to Up Down was just down, 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 down.
He looked dejected too when he looked at it. I pointed down and I was like, that thing looks cool. And his face went,
Yeah. Got my ass
Caught
beat
me
by
at a
that
bad
thing.
time, okay? And I just rode it like all around the whole city without any problems. And I get like right in front of my bus. And
It threw him off like a horse at a rodeo. It's Morgan Wallen with Bud and Broadway at New Country 92.3. Thanks, man.
thank you.